and also the Samarth online education portal of IGNOU. So please join these programs and fulfill your educational aspirations.
Welcome viewers. Today topic for discussion is Web Application Security Audit. You may be a student of MSc Information Security program, or you are a prospective learner and may be planning to register for this particular program. You may be also having the general knowledge and of your MSc Information Security program, which is being offered from School of Vocational Education, IGNOU. And the course is Web Application Security Audit, MSc 33. And today we are discussing block 4, Unit 1, that is Web Application Security Audit. Under that, the issue is Fundamentals of Application Unit. This course consists of 4 blocks, and block 4, which is the major topic for discussion today, having 4 units. Unit 13 is discussing, which will be discussed today in detail, that is Fundamentals of Web Application Security Audit, Application Forensics, and Web Application Audit Tools. Quite a few viewers who may be already having a little bit experience in their or information security or the topic which we are discussing today, that is Web Application Security Audit. But somehow you are not having the background of your particular technical knowledge like Python or any software which you are thinking or how to audit. So we will be discussing the basic concept of fundamentals of your web application security audit. So as a viewer, as learners, you may be having a lot of questions in mind what we have included in this particular unit. This unit will be having different terminologies like different types of web application security testing, understanding that broadly. This is explaining the basic requirement for this particular course, what we are discussing, and web services security related issues and standards. And these standards are being discussed in detail as a national scenario as well as global scenario. So you need to further discuss about the key areas in the context of ISO 27001 quality standards. So web services security audit initiatives and applications and security risks were also highlighted in this particular unit. So what is expectation from your side as a viewer or as a learners, what this course is about? As I said, it is the issues under that, what types of web application security audit, why should we need web application unit and security audits regularly. So this learning outcome we expected from you after this session. As a learner, after this session, you will be able to explain the fundamentals of web application security auditing. Means why should we do web application security audit? 2. You will be able to apply modeling exercise to identify potential vulnerabilities in a web application. Means how to check and balance of risk. You may be working in organizations, or you may be having your own businesses, or you may be employee of this particular expert in your company or organizations. So we expect as employer you how to protect these threats with different sources where attack is being done on your or any your organization's web pages. So these are the expectation and learning outcome we are expecting from you after this session, or study the materials what we have dispatched to you or you have downloaded from our web page. So in addition to that, we also expecting to you will be able to explain OWS research project top 10 attacks in the world. What are the activities under that project are highlighting in this unit, and in the last we are also expecting you will be able to understand the audit system process and create a comprehensive report outlining the findings and recommendation for searching the web applications. So my dear friends, you may be having the own web application department of your organizations, and you may be having the own check and balances, or you appointed specialized person for this particular job. Every employer industry is hiring this particular experts, and that expert's role and job is to save the threats from outside or within the organizations to attack the web page attacks. So web tech attacks, what are the issues? Let us discuss first. So common types of web application security threats that web application security audits aim to address are injection attacks. So what do you mean by injection attacks? We have explained with illustration in this particular unit what you are studied, or we expect from you also during this session. If you have any queries and explanation and conceptual framework difficulties for technicalities of this particular topic, you may call us. So let me explain again the injection attack. It is occur when an attacker inject malicious code into an application such as SQL injections or cross-site scripting, that is access attacks. Number 2 is broken authentication and session management. This is also occur when authentications machine and that mechanism are weak, allowing attacker to grant unauthorized access to the application or user data. Most of the research in this particular attacks reported, and our existing literature reported that these are being attacked in our financial institutions like bank and so on. So in addition to that, if you see the common types of application security threats, we are also having cross-site request forgery. What is this? This type of attack occurs when a user is triggered into and performing an action on a website without knowledge or consent. This is very, very interesting attack what we have our research wing of across the globe, and information and security projects which are being run and literature reported. We found this cross-site request forgery is attack, special attack when user is not aware. For instance, it is happening in other parts of the world also, not only India. So we explain with classical example and illustration in the units. And last part of this particular unit is explaining security misconfiguration. What is this security misconfigurations? Unit is explaining with the example. It is occur when the application is not configured correctly, leaving it open to attacks. Sometimes we download the software, our web page or mobile. We never close and open the window. And the attacker is when came to know all the sources, okay, this software is not installed. Instead of that particular software, we install other software which hacking this all information from your web application. So be careful, and we will discuss in detail all these threats what we are expecting the attacker can attack on web application. And this is being the process which followed in explained in this unit. We will further discussing the different types of web application security testing. What are the different types of web application security testing? That is dynamic application security testing. So this sort of testing is also explained with the example, and that determine the vulnerability and attack targets and how they could get across the system. Within the organizations, if you see, you have been appointed as a information security expert in your organizations, and you see first job is to analyze the different type of web application security testing. You may be having other job roles also, but as an expert, your first analysis and steps is to see the dynamics application security testing. What is that? We explain there. Then what is statistical and static application security testing? We call SAST. The SAST check the source code of application. Being your information security threat attacker, you have your own tools which you check for vulnerability in a more inside manner or a real-time standpoint of application security that can be beneficial. The last part is that application penetration testing. These are different type of testing. I said just as a learners, when you are a student of MSc Information Security programs, your job is to study the materials, what we have studied, what we are discussing today. But when you apply these steps in your organizations, you have to know what are the different types of application security testing. And last part is the professionals play an important part in an application analysis testing. He or she will attempt to find out how an attacker would get access to a web application, which we have given illustrations with the link. We have also a reference and a course writer and a content expert of these particular programs. Those who are on the job has given illustration with a link. The materials which you downloaded from our webpage or you received hard copy, go to that link and see how these threats are being explained with the illustrations. So last is the steps to understand threat modeling. What do you mean by this threat modeling? The different concept we are explaining here. The first to be protected. How to be protected? This might include sensitive data, critical infrastructure, or intellectual property. Because a lot of our patent and our product designs in industry or employee information, product information, some information as an employer which they don't want to share with their competitors. For that steps, as an information security expert, what is your role? You have to identify the assets what they have in your organizations. Accordingly, you maintain the steps for saving this data. Number 2, define the applications architectures. Design. This steps includes to identify the components and interactions within the applications, such as the user interface, database, and network connections. We explain the graphic in these illustrations, and when you are going to start these particular steps and threat modeling concept, then you have to define the application architectures in your organizations or industry or employer. And you have to also identify the potential threats, what are will be in future, because technology is changing very fast. And we are discussing today information security, and tomorrow it will be in the context of artificial intelligence and machine learning. And there also information is there, a lot of companies and data of their employee or students. And this step is to include the threats such as injection attack. What are the injection attacks? Denial of service attacks. What are the services attacks? Or social engineering attacks. This is very important to our social network and social engineering attack as well. So understanding the threat modeling, your job is to analyze the threats. After collecting this information, architecture, types, understanding threat modeling, you have to analyze the threats. What are the threats? These threats are being explained and coming up. These steps involves the evaluating the likelihood of the threat, but in future it may occur and the potential damage that could result. Most key company data leaked. How it has been leaked? When company has organizations has not adopted the threat modeling steps or any password leakage or any software leakage, that could happen in most of the organizations, and that data national and international leak. So as information security attackers, they might be having more information what we are analyzing as a saver threat information. So under that circumstances, as an information security saver, you have to analyze the threats and it mitigate the risk also. Like based on analysis, steps can be taken to mitigate the risk associated with the identified threats. What are the identified threats? As I explained just now, the social engineering threats, or we also explain the threats which may occur by software downloading or social network using, and web applications information being uploaded on respective employees or organizations' websites. That also be very important to protect them. This might include implementing additional security controls and changing the application design or architectures, or improving employee training and awareness. So our topic of discussion is web application auditing. The steps first is types and fundamentals. What are the fundamentals and how you are able to understand the threat modeling? What are the threat modeling? What we explained. First unit of this blog we see we also highlighted this knowledge, information, and practical aspects within this unit where you will be able to tackle this situation when you are preparing this course for your particular exams or assignments. Now, coming to web services code inscriptions, you might be knowing when you are having this background of any basic computer science, or if you are non-computer science, then you are working in this particular technology, you might be information. The W3C group has defined the XML inscription specification, and that is digital signature. Most of the financial institutions or organizations and companies are using digital signatures for day-to-day activities. This information find XML digital signature specification, and as like PDF or other protections measures are being adopted by the companies while using this software. So XML key management, what are these XML key management? And as a web securities audit standards, you have to OSIS the task force, which we have in group, defines how to sign and encrypt the SOAP message in order to build a fundamentals high level security services. So web services interoperability organizations getting more threats, like it has been defining a security profile to ensure basic interoperability among vendor as explained by authors, which I highlighted here. So Oracle considered interoperability of web services platform to be important than providing support for all the cases of the web service specifications. So a lot of computer company and information security threats saver companies are also coming up with different counterattacks. How to hacker is hijacking this web application information for this particular web security related standards. Now, if you go further, key areas. What are the key areas for web application security audit? First is verification of vulnerabilities in a web application. You have to verify what are the vulnerabilities happen. It is not necessary small information leakage you go case our information hijack. You have to verify it. Second, verification of detected vulnerabilities, and then repairing and reporting the work to be performed. Because a lot of activities in different organizations have second database, you have to attack on that particular saving applications, and new vulnerability may emerge at any time and that were not previously successful. That should also be kept in mind, keeping in future when you are saving today attack, tomorrow it may be having different software and different tools how to protect that information. So there is a need for continuous research on the latest threats, trends and techniques that are being used by the hackers. As reported by, recent example I quoted here, as reported by the University of Maryland, that there is a hacker attack in every 39 seconds. Suppose what we are offering this particular session through our all different platforms like our Gyan Darshan channel or YouTube, and there is a quite possibility hacker is using this program when we are providing this information, the key area for web application security audit. And I just said research says every 39 seconds there is a chance the information may leak. So in addition, 43% target small business and 64% of companies have experienced web application based attacks. So this research work is required continuously for keeping in mind the safety, because if you develop some tools and software for today attackers, but if tomorrow come up new tools, then how to save this information? We highlighted this information here. So key area for web application security, this claim the need for continued research on the latest threats and trends and techniques which being used by the hacker. And lastly, let us identify. We did some R&D and we found key area for web application security audit. That is, first is method to protect the system. Threat modeling, what I just explained. First step is to identify what to protect. And second step is install a web application firewall. Most of the companies, organizations, and even individuals, personal data, critical application. What are the critical application? Because a lot of software is coming and big companies are coming to, like our McAfee and or virus-free software tools. But you see, plan for incidental responses. It can happen anytime. Then also you will be having server control and all that. Improve your development process. That is the method we explained with example in this unit. And then monitoring of security. That should be part of your job role. And then you have to explain server, apache and security lags, then you will enable logging on the web server. This type of monitoring security required regularly, and set up log protection. If you implied when you are preparing for your exam, these assignments, you have to highlight under this monitoring security what we explained in this unit or in this session. You have to find out additional monitoring security steps as you are being adopted in your particular organizations or institution or a company. And we are giving a lot of activity-based assignment for this particular course, which we expect from you as a learner. You give your own case study related to key area for web application security audit and report, because that is your learning, what we expect from these particular sessions. And keep backups of logs at your logs daily, and alerts and summaries, switch and log watch. This is a regular checkup of monitoring and security in every organizations. Despite of the fact, all check and balancing and audit, despite of the fact, a lot of data and information leaked. How to check again future threats, and which has not been recorded earlier. New virus and tools and software every day is being, hacker is also on job, and they can attack your companies and web application sites. That we explain, and we see the web application 2007 auditing quality issues. We also explain with example and author's contribution. For instance, we have given some research evidence. The study analyzed how the use of machine learning approaches increases the discovery of vulnerability attacks and customer relationship management, and finds that it has a significant influence on application created and regulated environment. This research done 2022. So after 23, we find out the fundamentals of application security audits are adopting the similar procedures which unit highlighted, but nevertheless we come out this graph of OSCP top web application security risk. What are this risk? Last year 17 data show the 10 top our these attacks, and 21 show this change. You see this graph. We come out the injections and broken authentications. Now it was first in 2017. Now it is 3, AGO3, that injection come up. Which is the first? In 2017, we were having broken access control. Now we are having the first in 2021. So drastic changes of top 10 these attacks are there. This graph we have given within the text also, and you can view our study materials and details and see the graphs explaining. And we have compiled this information from the Audit top 10 the attack in the world. So this type of information will help you as a student or as an employee or as a employer, how I save data and protect data from the attackers. So this top application, if you see insufficient logging and monitoring, that was 2017 was the last top 10, and if you see 21, it increased in 6th place. So this ranking and steps changes by developing application security programs. If you are saving new tools and software for saving this particular attack, and tomorrow hacker is giving different tools, so that should be ready as a hacker information security expert. Now coming to audit system process, which we explain, that is first, whether were you attacked or not, how were you attacked, when were you attacked, what was attacked. So these four questions you have to raise while auditing this process. And second questions, which we also explain in the next slide, what to audit and how to audit. And what to audit is web application in a software programs that runs in a browsing on the user machines. Second, it is convenient to provide access to the other users without installing it or on their system. And third is it leads to the server side, and which doesn't control the process. So I think we have covered all the aspects, what to audit and how to audit. But as a learner, you may become victim of injections, inadequate authentications, exposure of data, and poor security configurations. So the 4 steps you have to keep in mind when you are going to appoint yourself or employee in your organizations, and you see the need for the audit also very well. First is audit of web apps. Step 2 is audit of internet infrastructure. And third step is audit of APIs and web services. And as a real hacker, create a real attack on order to test the global security level. And my friends, we covered this basic concept of our what to audit and how to audit, need for audit, but how to protect web application, and you can study details. But in the screen you see, we explain few of them very important steps. As a web developer, you should make more of the effort to protect and secure your application as suggested by the OWC project. I am sure the detailed information what we have discussed today, you understand the basic concept of fundamentals of web security audit. And if any query, you please contact MSCIS@ignou.ac.in.